There we go. It's Sage Against the Machine. Once again, bringing you news and stuff from society, Acculturation, the nichiest of the nichiest podcast. I don't know.
I'm Isaac.
I'm Joshua.
We're here.
We're here in this age. We haven't been nuked yet, but this will come out next week. So, hey, there's still time.
Did we put up the episode yet where we were talking about Elon and all that?
No, that will go out probably Thursday because the Outlaws are going to have a late episode this week.
Well, I'm getting ahead of the mess that may be coming. So I don't know. It's just people will hear this after, so they'll kind of get an idea of. I had a story that came up, and I found it to be humorous, and I think Josh found it to be humorous as well. But I do believe that some people, when they listen to the previous episode, they may be a little shocked or maybe even disgruntled at the way that I talked about Elon and his sort of Zig Heil, like intentionally. I think he was being provocative intentionally. But I just thought this was a funny story. So basically, I was running down last week what Josh and I spoke about regarding Elon, and my wife just I didn't even get all like close to all the way through of explaining my train of thought, and she said, "Oh, great, you're a Nazi sympathizer now," and I was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, no, I'm not. And then it was like, and it turned into a whole thing of like, it was just funny to me because it was like, well, I didn't even get to finish what I'm saying. And then I'm like, it becomes, I'm a Nazi sympathizer. And then it also was, and see, I think this is something that we can kind of, because we have a lot of non-natives who listen to the show. So, I'm half. And one of the things that my wife said, which I found to be funny, but it gives an insight for our listeners to kind of, hear things that like they would never hear. Mm-hmm. She said, "Well, that's the white half of you," and I couldn't help it. I laughed, like it was funny to me, and so I don't know. It just to me was like, this is the kind of story where it's like you tell the audience that. And I wonder if they'll find it as funny as I do, because it was like, I got called out for being half white, a Nazi sympathizer, while I hadn't finished my thought. And I don't know. It was humorous to me.
I mean, it's not German, right?
No, it wasn't German.
That'd be worse.
I'm half Irish too. That's what it is. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
I'm not half German.
Those are the minorities of Europe.
Or Austrian. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Well, that's kind of true, too. Irish and Scottish are looked down upon by a lot of people. Yeah. I don't know why, though. They're fucking pretty badass.
They're pretty cool.
Clan people.
Yeah. Yeah. Bunch of dirty hippies.
Dirty hippies with the fucking long hair. Glorious long hair.
So between the two of us, we're one whole Indian.
Yeah, exactly. We finally made it. Although I was, you know what I mean? Like, when I told you, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should tell the story, but I don't know. I just find it humorous. But I was thinking, too, all this shit that's going on with Trump now is, was, that whole thing, like, how do you know you're really Indian if you can be threatened with not being a citizen? And you and I both qualify for that.
So, yeah.
We're really Indians.
So a few days have gone by. By the time this comes out, the castle might have fallen.
Yeah, who knows?
The Republic might be dead by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, things are getting a little wild now.
It's a little wild, and
everybody's freaking out.
Yeah, they're freaking out about funding.
Yep. And
I, for one, so I started off talking about social media. I think social media is a valuable thing. I think it's an interesting tool. I think the app universe has ruined the internet.
Yeah,
because people they're not getting the unfiltered internet. They're getting their internet through a proxy. So
algorithm
and all of that. So I'm trying to leave Meta. I mean, we'll probably still have an Instagram or something there to just share content with, but I'm not going to interact with it anymore.
Yeah.
So far, I've downloaded Discord. I've used Discord before
Yeah.
for games and for friends and stuff. I downloaded Telegram, which you recommended.
Yeah, Telegram's pretty cool.
Which I haven't tried yet. I've also downloaded. I created a Blue Sky account.
I have one of those.
Now, I was never a Twitter person, so I don't know if I'll take the Blue Sky, but so far it looks like a cross between Twitter and Insta.
It is. I don't remember if Jack Dorsey
He does.
created Blue Sky too.
Yeah. He runs Blue Sky. It gives me pause because I didn't care for Twitter's political bent. I think he's kind of a...
Elon has certainly changed that.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter much. I played with it a little bit recently. Didn't like it.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
I mean, I didn't like Twitter at first, but now I really do.
Yeah, don't like it.
But that's because I just like to argue with everybody.
That's what it seems like it's for.
Yeah,
But,
it is.
But people they're not arguing with a point. They're just vomiting their feelings
True.
at each other.
Normally.
So that's not very useful.
I'd say probably 9 times out of 10, yeah.
That seems like just a way to feel like shit.
When you have a productive conversation on there, it's exceedingly rare.
Yeah, I've been on Reddit for years.
Reddit's good.
I don't contribute much to Reddit, but I basically anytime I search Google, it's search term Reddit.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I'm not even using Google to find things on the internet.
Yep.
I'm using it to go through Reddit.
Yeah. You ask a specific question like, what would be the best home drone for me? And then
Yes.
it'll say Reddit.
Yeah,
Automatically.
because I want a user's experience.
Yeah.
And I can't trust Google's results.
Yes.
Google 9 times out of 10 sends me to a site that just wants to sell me stuff and
Absolutely.
nothing more.
Yep.
Google has lost most of its functionality for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
I use DuckDuckGo occasionally, more often than not, because I use the Brave browser
Okay.
and it connects to DuckDuckGo.
So you're even off of Chrome.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, Brave is a port of Chrome that's had all its spyware stripped out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might have to check that out then.
Yeah, Brave is a pretty good one. Brave can connect directly through Tor if you wanted to be slow as dog shit. But I've been using NordVPN,
Yeah.
so I don't really need Tor. But I can go through from NordVPN into Tor if I really want to get up to some serious OPSEC.
That's something. Yeah. Let's do the opposite.
It's too slow, man. I don't need
Well,
that.
we have to tell all of our listeners too, if you really should have a VPN.
Yeah,
At minimum.
At minimum. I mean, it's a base layer of security because it encrypts your signal, and it can redirect it. You can also use it to pretend you're in a different country. So if you want to watch Netflix from England, you can do that.
Yeah, and I know. Yeah, because a lot of Canadians are not happy with their version of Netflix compared to the American version.
Yeah, and they can't get the news.
Yeah.
Coming out of Canada.
Yep.
I get why the Canadian government did it. I think it's a heavy-handed way to do things.
Well, as a journalist, I think that's actually the reasoning behind it.
Yeah,
makes sense.
The reasoning's sound. Facebook's making money.
The
off all
execution is
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I don't know how else you solve that. Facebook, maybe finding Facebook. I don't know. Facebook stealing. It just seems like a mess.
It does. I mean, it is. It's like, I'm not. I mean, my writing is not stretching far and wide, all the time except for one piece. But I mean, still, I know other journalists, and we all consume news that is gathered and presented by a journalist. So I do think that it's only fair to compensate them for the work that they've done.
Yeah, if it's popular, it's getting a lot of views. You got to find a way to pay the artists
Yep.
and the writers. I don't know how you do that. I like the patronage system. Substack seems good where you put out free stuff and then you have
An option.
paid access for an option. As the podcast universe seems, and then straight up advertising.
Yeah. Which,
and that's what Facebook was stealing.
well, we're going to do that as well as we are working on things, everybody. We're almost ready with the website, and I don't know, eventually my wife, who called me a Nazi sympathizer, she's been pushing Josh and I to get at least the option for like a Patreon donation, buy me a coffee, whatever.
Right.
We'll do that eventually.
Yeah.
If anybody's crazy enough to want to pay us to do this.
I'm sure some people will do it. Like, if you're not native and you feel guilty about history, hashtag cashback.
Yeah, there you go. buy us a coffee.
Come on, give us a dispensation. We'll absolve you of your sins.
Buy me a fucking pre-roll or something.
Actually,
that would be pretty funny.
I also downloaded something called Mastodon. It's a social media replacement, but it looks to be cloud-based and
okay.
Decentralized and open source.
Yeah.
So
open source is good.
A friend of mine from Kahnawake, shout out Kaylee Markey, she's getting off Meta for the similar reasons.
There are a lot of users on that though?
Don't know.
Oh, you haven't launched it yet?
No, I downloaded it on my phone and that's as far as I got.
Oh, what the hell?
And I Googled it. I went on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Let's look it up right now together. Mastodon.
Well, Wikipedia is a fucking toilet too. It's controlled by the NSA.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's good for most things.
I totally agree. It's a good idea. I've come to learn that it's likely has a lot of control by the national security state.
I mean, I'm sure all the national security states do stuff to it.
Yeah, but I mean like directly, because I've never tried to edit anything in there before, but I've been told by people who have that it seems near impossible for a regular human being to actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, contribute.
So I shouldn't give them $10 this
Wikipedia.
year? I donate.
You're one of those people who contributes to Wikipedia.
I contributed, yeah.
The fucking government pays for it.
You know how many hours I spent on Wikipedia?
I can only imagine.
You ever start off, especially back when we were sitting in front of a computer all day?
Yeah.
You start off with one thing, and 4 hours later,
the rabbit hole.
You're like looking up, those lemurs that eat the coffee beans. And
I thought you were going to go in a very, very un-PC direction there. I was for a second there. I thought you were going to make a crazy joke.
Oh, you really?
Mm-hmm.
I could.
I know.
Let's see. Mastodon is a free, open source, decentralized social media platform founded in 2016. It's built on ActivityPub and exists in the Fediverse, a network of independent servers that host applications and websites.
Holy shit! I have no fucking idea what any of that meant.
Well, okay.
What's a fucking Fediverse?
I don't know what the Fediverse is.
Is it a rapper?
But decentralized and peer-to-peer means like.
I know what peer-to-peer is.
Yeah, years ago, I played around with peer-to-peer networks where it was like I played around with I2P and I played around with Freenet.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is instead of having centralized servers,
right, everybody's
computer carries a little bit of the platform, and it just spreads it around, similar to the way BitTorrent works.
Did you ever? I don't mean to interrupt you too much, but have you ever seen the show Silicon Valley?
Yes.
That's like the concept that they had in that for the internet.
Yeah. Also, center out. You don't remember that joke? Okay, that was one of those un-PC jokes.
It was hilarious.
There was a funny scene when they were about to present their IP, and then they had a breakthrough right there because they were talking about the number.
The phones, right? For everybody to carry it?
Yeah, no, this was...
Oh, before that?
Yeah, this was the episode where...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a little fuzzy on the memories of that show.
Yeah, I'll have to show you that. That was not for this show. That's an Outlaws joke.
Nice. Yeah, I started looking at that. Yeah, I'm old, and I finally started to actually look at Instagram and stuff. I've had it for years, but the only remember that the only reason that I even downloaded it was because of the Outlaws.
Was it?
Yeah, that was the only reason. Otherwise, I never would have done it. I'm fucking old, man.
I have Signal. I've used Signal for years.
Signal, yeah, that's good.
As a messenger replacement, it's encrypted again.
Yep.
I'm sure if the FedGov wants to get in, they can.
I've been told that that's pretty much the case. Yeah. Even like with WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever. If they really want to get in, they're going to get in. Yeah,
it's just how much effort do you want to spend on this?
Well, I mean, they have unlimited resources, and they like fucking with regular people, so...
So that's been my journey the last couple of days, just sort of researching and looking, and I'm going to do more of that and report what I find here. Maybe we'll do a little presentation.
Yeah.
Switch it out of Meta.
We should.
Make new billionaires and get rid of the old ones.
Yeah, for real. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing, though, is all of the tech oligarchs, right? Is I don't care if we make new ones as long as they leave it open source.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a way to monetize shit with it still being open source.
Well, for sure there is. I mean, most of the internet is built on open source software.
Well, when you see, that was something that you said when you started talking about this that I've been thinking about a lot lately is the unfiltered internet. Now, young people in here have no fucking idea what the unfiltered internet was like, but you and I do.
What they call the dark web is very much what the open.
That was the original internet. That's just how it was.
And there was problems with that.
Problems.
Big, giant, glaring ones.
But it was also a beautiful thing to behold.
It was so
as
neat.
well. It was, yeah. I mean, like our generation, we were the first ones to like really interact with it when we were young people. I mean, I think 95 or 96 was the first time I interacted with the internet, and I was 14.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just like nothing any of us had ever had before.
Yeah.
Like widespread anyway.
You had to dial it up.
Yeah. Dial it up.
Well, old people.
We, when I still lived down there in Oswego County, we actually got, they called it Roadrunner at the time.
I remember Roadrunner. Yep. It was to the cable system.
We had that.
We didn't get that here till 2001.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think we got it in 96.
Yeah.
96 or 97 at my Uncle Jim's house. And I really was like bugging the shit out of my mom to do it. I was like, I'll get a job. I'll pay for it myself. Of course, I'd get like 4 jobs, quit them in a week, but we still had it. It was awesome. Shout out to Napster. Oh.
Yep, I remember that.
Yep.
I remember Napster and LimeWire. And
Yep, LimeWire.
Yep.
And that, but the internet was, I mean, it was great. I mean, just what the internet, I think that those of us who were young and saw the first like large scale iteration of it, and I think we probably still hold on to that of what we wanted to be.
We thought it was so cool, but we were too dumb to capitalize on it.
Yeah. I mean, you're fucking kids. Literally, we were kids.
Dumb and unfocused.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have. I was just,
I was
just describing to Isaac a little while ago some ideas I had with tech that had I more money and skills.
That are pretty fucking rad.
Yeah.
We'll fund it, and it'll be like our version of a CIA Black Ops.
I always know almost just enough to see the horizon, but not enough to get my boat there.
Yep. We're going to get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, because it would be pretty fucking gnarly if you were able to do all that stuff we were talking about earlier. I would tell you all, everybody listening, but
it might be.
I don't want to incriminate you just for listening.
Yeah.
Josh and I will end up in bracelets again.
Well, I did have a drone after our last conversation here.
Yeah.
So I should share that little story.
You definitely.
So, the episode prior to this, it would have been 2 weeks by the time you listen to this.
Yep.
While Isaac was here, my dog got off his leash. My dog has to be on a leash because he's a runner and he's an escape artist.
He's a beagle.
He's a beagle.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Copper. Shout out Copper.
Yeah, he's graced the covers of some of our episodes. And his line broke. And he went under my house. I leave a little gap in my house so there's feral cats outdoors. I let them go under there because it's warm under there.
Yeah.
So they go under there, and a dog chased them under there and got hung up in something. And so I had to crawl under there. It's a very small crawl space. And I had to get in there to fish my dog out. And I got him out. He was fine. I also rescued a feral cat that was trapped. I'm a hero.
I agree. You're fucking better than Ace Ventura.
Yeah, I did a heroic thing. And as I'm coming out, I had my spotlight. I had a spotlight, and I had it with me. And just as a fluke, I hear a noise, and I look up in the air, and what do I see? I see a red and green light close.
Yeah.
Close. So I take my spotlight, and I put it on there.
Yeah.
And it's hovering. It's making that buzzing sound. So I couldn't see it well.
Oh, you could hear it?
Oh,
too?
I could hear it. Yeah. That's why I don't think it was a very big one.
Okay.
But they have sounds to them, and the big ones are like, you can tell it's a large thing.
Yeah.
It sounds more like an airplane than it does like a
yeah, because when you sent me the video, all I could hear was you.
Yeah. So the drone kind of sounds like an electric drill.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's up there, and I put my spotlight on it, and it creeps around my house. I didn't think to do anything about it at the moment. I was kind of just perplexed.
Yeah.
Like, is this real? Because we talk about some gnarly stuff on here, but not like seriously, like oh, the NSA's watching, or some Homeland Security's watching, but somebody's watching for real.
So Yo, you have definitely said shit. Not me. That's worthy of being surveilled, but you certainly have.
Oh, in public.
Yeah, I know.
You see my comedy routine.
Yeah.
I literally talk about when I was called by an intelligence agency. And they told me not to tell anybody, so I use it on stage.
Fucking right.
Because that's awesome.
I mean, I know. I mean, yeah, I know that we say shit that would probably rankle some highly ranked officials.
Yeah, bad people. They are bad people. They are not looking out for you.
Hell no.
They're looking out for themselves.
You know who's looking out for you people? Josh and I.
Yeah, that is. We're like Batman.
Fucking right.
We're like Batman on welfare.
Yep. I'm the fat Batman.
I am also the fat Batman.
Yeah, you're not fat, buddy. Anyway, sorry.
So I watched the drone. It kind of creeps out back. So on this property, we have a few houses. Creeps out over my sister's house. Of course, I'm on the group chat immediately. And then it kind of creeps over the border. I'm assuming it's like it's like border protection or homeless security.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that. I don't know. It very well could be a neighbor screwing around with a drone trying to
could be.
Look at my windows to see if I'm up to something.
Yes, but you're not really native if you're not paranoid about the government watching you.
Yeah, it's either government or neighbor watching me clap cheeks. One of those. So
it's like a fucking yin yang's twin.
Either way, I'm for it. So
throw the dollar bills.
Yeah. So in any case, it creeps around. And so the reason I assume it is not a consumer level drone is because it was in the air a long time.
Mm.
It was in the air. It flew over the woods here, and then it crept up near the roadway. And when I could see it along the road. So I think a consumer who was being nefarious wouldn't have its marking lights.
Right.
But a Fed would have to, because they would have to follow the FAA rules.
So how long do you think it was up in the air?
25 minutes, half hour. And
like when you say marking, do you think it was like throwing down like markers or like some sort of demarc?
No, it had lights. It had a red and a green, and it had a blinking light.
Which is a signal of government or...
Well, I think all drones, this is something we could look up, but I'm going to guess it's true. The FAA has put in rules for drones.
Right.
Number one, I believe you need a license now if you want to fly it over a certain amount.
I know I've heard people talk about that you have to have some sort of permission or some shit from the FAA.
And the other thing is if it's of a certain size, it has to have demarcation lights.
Okay.
So airplanes don't hit them, which has happened.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's fucking oppression.
You don't want your little jaunt over the St. Lawrence River to go awry when someone's drone flies through your propeller or through your wing.
It's worse than fucking geese.
So in any case, you know, I then I got my Jeep and I went looking around because I wanted to see if it was Border Patrol. I don't know why. I just had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So I go looking around, and I do see a vehicle some distance from here on a back road with their lights on.
No way to make it out, though.
I'm not going to go knock on their window.
No. I'm just saying, like, from where you were.
No. So the next day, my sister calls the Border Patrol. They say it wasn't theirs. That doesn't mean they don't have to tell the truth.
No,
like,
they don't. They're cops. They don't have to tell the truth.
But typically, when they do stuff like that, they'll tell you so they could say, yeah, we're allowed to do this.
Right.
And don't make our drone go away.
Right.
You'll be in big trouble.
Yeah, that actually is something that you can be charged federally with, is taking down one of their drones.
Yeah. So, make sure you dispose of it properly.
Yeah. Don't let them know you did it. Not that we're telling you that it's kind of funny to do that.
That's just a humorous anecdote from the internet.
Just from the internet to
it's not like this is hunting country.
The internet, us to you, an interesting and funny story.
It's coming for me.
it's Did you ever see that the Seinfeld episode where Newman and Kramer are out on the road and then they end up coming across that farmhouse? That's all I could think in my head. Pie.
Yeah, so that was an interesting thing to, right after one of our episodes. That was kind of funny.
So okay, let's go full tin hat here. If you had to venture a guess, what do you think it was?
I think my neighbors across the river who are, go by the initials Customs and Border Protection, got themselves a new toy and they were playing with it.
Yeah.
That's my first guess. My second guess is there's ICE agents over there,
That's
and the Border Patrol maybe doesn't work directly with them.
right.
Because these agencies, they are separate.
Yep.
Like, for instance, I had a fix-it ticket, and I stopped at the customs because I was just going through anyways. I said, hey, can you sign this? He said, I'm not a cop. I said, oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've actually, it might have been my wife even, who told me that they had an inspection or something that was expired, and at the border they said they basically didn't give a fuck. They're not cops.
Yeah, it's not their jurisdiction.
Yeah, they don't care.
So it very well could have been not the Border Patrols.
Right.
I do know that Trump has said publicly he wants the northern border to be guarded by drones.
Yep.
Because walls are too expensive over here, I guess.
Well,
There's no Mexicans to build them.
yeah, exactly.
They deported them all.
Canadians are too fucking good to do that shit.
Well, you can't trust Canadians.
Fucking Canadians.
That's why we're tariffing them.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Oh.
No, I'm not your buddy, guy.
So that was the excitement. I assume I'll see more of that kind of thing,
Probably.
and that might give us some content.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it would be kind of funny if we did that one night. Just stayed out there and looked around, got video of it and shit.
Yeah.
Then we could make jokes about them.
It's a legit drone too. It wasn't like
It wasn't a Walmart drone.
It wasn't like and it wasn't like New Jersey. What is that?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was not that far from my head.
Yeah.
Like had my goose gun been in my hand,
Yeah.
I might be in jail right now.
Well, I mean, I can't really see. That's the thing with all these. If you, and of course the government wants to keep it under wraps what the fuck they're doing, but what is a private landowner to do? You know what I mean? What if it wasn't a 3-letter agency?
Right.
What if it was a creep?
Yeah. What if it was a creep?
And you took it down?
I live less than a mile from a place that's full of sex offenders.
Yeah. And that legit is full of fucking creeps.
All
like
the time.
Sick fucks.
Yeah.
And so how are you to know? You have kids.
Right.
How are you to know?
That's right.
And so would it be so offensive if you did that?
And also, let me tell you this. North Country cares about laws a lot less than people think they do.
Yeah.
This is what I'm always trying to get across to people is like, crime can happen. Crime's not always wrong.
No.
Sometimes crime is the answer to a
Well,
lot of our problems. And it doesn't make you a bad person to do crime.
lawful doesn't always mean right.
Right. Slavery was lawful.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean that's the truth. And it might sound to be a little hyper, or it just might seem like we're trying to be absurd, but that's the truth, is that lawful is not always just. It's just not.
It wasn't that long ago that Indians couldn't leave the reservation without a pass.
Yeah.
That day might come again.
Yeah, we might be. Well, speaking of the border stuff,
Let's go right into it. So Trump has said something about citizenship and naturalization coming to the Indians, and like, well, maybe we're not citizens.
yeah, the birthright citizenship.
Which the Haudenosaunee have said all along. We are not citizens.
That is true. 1924 Citizenship Act.
However, like the deer, we can also transverse the lands.
Right.
Now, my mind game said, what if they did just to be extra Trumpy? Be like, yes, you are sovereign people. You're not allowed to leave your nation now. And your nation's the size it is. So
Yeah.
good luck.
Or you need a passport of some sort to travel out, or you need papers.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be.
Yeah, papers.
I mean, like, are we going to have Indian agents here again? Or sitting directly outside of the territory?
Right.
And I can see why, that's why, I made the joke earlier, are you real Indian if, that could be enforced upon you. But, even trying to make light of it a little bit. But, really, you think about it, but people are freaking out.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I really loathe Donald Trump, but I'm also thinking in my head, do we need to freak out this badly yet? You know what I mean?
I don't think we need to lead with fear.
Right.
Like, again, my solutions are a little out there, but I'm cognizant of how our community became wealthy.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't make any bones about it.
No.
We did it through crime.
Neither do I. Yeah.
We did it through abusing the system.
A lot of wealth was created here through smuggling on the river.
And let's not have that as, well, we have more funding now. Yeah, we do. They did it so we would stop doing that.
Exactly. And we still it still goes on. It's not to say, white people who are listening to this, that it's a large percentage of our community. It's not, but it is a part of our history.
And I think the underground economy is one relief valve for all this fear. Is that laws are only as good as they're enforced.
Yeah.
This is why I actually am so forceful with the way I speak about local law enforcement, because again, laws are only good as they're enforced. And if you got local guys willing to do the wrong things, then what are you going to do?
And it's been proven too that law enforcement can be corruptible.
Well, almost every time there was a fascist takeover, most of them were cops.
Yep.
The SS, mostly cops.
Yep.
Slave patrols, cops.
Turned into cops.
Yep.
Yeah.
RCMP, where did they begin?
Yep.
They just round up Indians.
Indian agents were essentially cops.
Yeah. Let's not. Who trains the cops? The guys we call cops.
Yep.
Our guys. Who trains those?
And we've had this discussion multiple times. I know that there is a use and need for some sort of body to look after the protection of our communities. But yeah, I mean, that's an undeniable fact, is that the police are the ones who, they have the badge and the gun. So, reflexively, that is just the mind you have to say, it kind of makes sense that when shit goes wrong, they might be the ones leading the charge.
Yeah, of course they will.
So to say.
Yeah. So that all comes to my mind watching the chaos unfold. Like one part's like, oh my God, this is kind of scary. Another point is like, they're going to burn themselves to the ground.
I know.
Awesome.
Is it so?
If I just don't, if they take my credit card bill with them, have at it.
Exactly.
Kill yourselves.
Is it that? Okay. Look, I am looking at it pretty much the same way you are. And but my thing is, yeah, it is. It's troubling. It definitely is. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh, they're going to fucking cannibalize each other. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is it so terrible for me to have that thought in my head? Is there something truly defective about me? And I think, it's just, everybody who listens to this, you can answer that question for yourself, but I think it's kind of human nature for those people who you have seen in your life and your history that have fucked over our people forever.
Yeah.
Is it so unreasonable for us to take a little joy in them doing it to themselves?
Right. Although, our funding will be cut first.
I know. Well, we don't have any fucking funding, so whatever.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure the tribal government gets quite a bit of federal funding.
No, I meant you and me directly.
Not you and me directly, no.
No, but actually we do.
They pay for the clinic, the roads, the schools.
Okay, so, and that's the thing. I know, as we were talking about it earlier, just over Messenger and stuff. So, I don't know everything in great depth and detail right now. What I do know is, at this moment, we're doing the show on Tuesday at, 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock.
Yeah, Tuesday the 28th.
And everything was supposed to be, everybody was saying it's all going to get cut off at 5 p.m. Well, that didn't happen for everything. In the memo that I read that the Trump administration sent out, what they are, and they followed up with this after, was that they're trying to make clear, and this is what they're saying. I'm not saying I believe them. I'm just reporting the news that's been shared, is that this is not meant to, any of those funds are not meant to be cut off from individuals. So say people who have SNAP, people who have Medicaid, Medicare, it's not meant to, those funds aren't meant to be cut off from them. Now, as far as whether or not that's true, how that's going to play out, I don't know. I don't know. But, I mean, that's all that I really can say for sure right now. I do also know that a federal judge put a halt to that executive action, as widespread as it is, as scattershot as it is, from going into effect. Now, that means, yes, it's going to end up in the federal court system, and likely, I mean, my guess would be, if this continues to be challenged and Trump really wants to defend it with his Justice Department, then, you know, it will probably end up in front of the Supreme Court, and Trump appointed 3 justices. That does not necessarily make this that the entirety of that thing is going to be going into effect, or that it's going to be as heavy-handed, but this is my observation right now as an unemployed reporter who is just doing his best to relay some information.
So, riding out home, I was listening. It was YouTube. I was listening to YouTube.
Yeah.
And as I do, I don't really watch it. I just listen.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the stuff is.
Yeah. That's where the news is.
And that's when I have time to like listen for half an hour when I'm
Yep.
doing one of my many travels
Yep.
through the territory.
And getting cut off from snowboarding.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was interesting. I always like to listen to the conservative side and then the liberal side, or liberal, whatever you want to call them, the less conservative side.
I don't know. the half of the uniparty that they say is progressive, but it's really not.
Yeah. This puppet's on the right hand. This puppet's on the left hand. Hey, they belong to the same guy.
The only fucking different. I mean, yeah, it's like 2 cats fighting in a fucking bag that they throw into the river.
In any case, so the Dems were freaking out.
Yep.
I saw like 5 different attorney generals talking about they're joining together in a lawsuit.
Yep.
Like Arizona, New York,
California, Oregon too,
Massachusetts.
Yep, Massachusetts.
I think I saw Maine on there.
Anyways,
a bunch of them were
freaking out.
Yeah, and my very liberal friends were on our other group chat were like, this is going to hit a lot of the conservative states the hardest.
Yes,
because they're the poorest.
For sure.
Louisiana, Mississippi.
Yep.
And the guys that are the loudest with religion are also
Alabama.
the dumbest and the most abusive and had a history of slavery.
That seems to be pretty accurate.
Is it their karma or is it just their system? I don't know.
That's like they were all getting after that bishop who did the sermon and like basically was just saying you should be nice to people. Oh, that's fucking against God.
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. They're what do they have? Scripture in their mouth and a whip in their hand.
And they're literally like, there's people who are literally going to the Bible and directly quoting from the Bible about, treating when you're, when a foreigner's in your land and shit.
Yeah.
And then you got conservative dickheads who are saying, well, that's not what Jesus said. That's not what the Bible says. Like, what the fuck they're saying that she was misrepresenting Christianity. And it's like, okay, well, this is what the Bible directly says, a direct quote from it. I don't understand where these people are coming from.
Not my Bible.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah, buddy.
Liberty for me, rules for thee.
I don't want none of you coming into my country.
So then I flick over to some, conservative lawmakers react to Trump's thing. So first, what this guy does is talk about his support for Israel for a few minutes. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with the title of this video. This is, wow, I know who pays your bills,
Total
buddy.
clickbait.
Yeah, I mean, you just got AIPAC's got you.
Fucking right.
And then he went into it, and it was very, this is great, and this is how we're gonna blah 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 blah. So the Democrats are freaking out over nothing. No one's gonna lose their SNAP and their Medicaid. We're just gonna blah 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 blah.
From what's been reported so far, that's what they say.
This is all mainstream news, and then meanwhile,
but that's what the conservative representative said.
And this was like C-SPAN or something. This wasn't like Fox.
So directly a House rep or a senator who's talking directly.
Now, according to Reddit, none of this stuff is showing up on Fox.
Really?
which is interesting.
That is interesting. I stay away from corpse media. So
I do too, for the most part. I listen to what other people say about it.
Right.
I mean, it's on in every diner
Yeah.
around here, so occasionally I'm
Every tribal building.
yeah, it's weird. So
I mean, I'll throw it on once in a while just to kind of see.
my dad is just attached to it. He just flicks between MSNBC and Fox.
Well, yeah, you know what though? I mean, that's kind of like the boomers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's just
It's like that Shane Gillis bit.
Yeah,
My dad's a Fox.
the Fox News dad.
Dad, all your dads are Fox.
Yeah, I mean that those jokes about going to a family thing and your aunt or uncle or your mom or I mean that's a real thing, especially on my mom's side of the family, like the white half. It's heavily Fox News influenced.
Yeah. So it's like another universe. It's just the way they complain about things. I could tell they're just repeating stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's
Well, I mean, anybody who really like people call like they'll say that Rachel Maddow or what's that dickhead's name on the 5 for Fox? Anyway, they'll say that they're journalists, and I'm like, not really. You're commentators.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like to me, a journalist is somebody who's out there actually doing the reporting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting the information and then giving that back in a less biased, way. But yeah, anyway.
So the border stuff's going to affect us.
Definitely.
I'm wondering how the tariff thing. I don't even know if it will happen because it's going to be a giant hit on both economies.
It's good.
It's going to decimate the North Country.
It's going to.
You had the mayor. I read an article today. The mayor of Plattsburgh, the head of Chamber of Commerce of, the Chamber of Commerce of Plattsburgh, the mayor of Messina. They had some professor of economics from SLU.
Okay.
And they were just like, this is a bad idea. This is going to destroy the North Country.
Yeah.
This is going to destroy northern New York, northern Vermont. And
I'm no economist, but I mean, from what I can tell by reading a little bit and watching people who are economists, this is probably a really fucking bad idea.
Yeah. It's so.
Because it ends up getting, and this is the thing. This is why I'm always advocating for a fucking class war. This is one of the reasons why I'm not cheering for Luigi, but why I can understand what he did is that
Be my hero.
Hey,
did
man,
nothing wrong.
That's
His only crime was getting caught
free Luigi
before he could do more.
But that's the thing is like it always ends up being the working class and poor who end up really paying the price. And that's something that's been being talked about on many of the independent shows that I listen to, is that yet again, and mind you, these are economists coming up, Richard Wolff, like they're saying like it's going to be the poor people who end up really getting fucked, like, which is the way it always is. And that's why these super rich pigs hoard all the wealth and they're untouched by any of this shit.
Yeah.
When eggs are $10 a dozen, they're fine.
And there's a bird flu, so you can't. Like I was thinking about buying chickens because eggs are climbing in price. I buy them from local wedding, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're in the Acculturation area, Pat and April's on the way to just outside of Fort Covington.
Well, I like the
get yourself some
what
eggs.
Are those Mother Earth eggs.
Eggs are good too.
Yep.
I like Pat and April because they're right there.
I've never tried theirs.
They're fine.
Do they actually have orange yolks?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can see the chickens.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
So now they're all gonna run out.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Yep.
Hold on, I gotta tell my dog to shut up. Copper, shut up.
We need to get Pat and what?
April.
Pat and April. We need some advertising. You do some advertising with us.
They're gonna give me some free.
You can pay us some free eggs.
Yeah, we'll take eggs.
Look at me. I love eggs. And bacon.
And poutine.
And double cheeseburgers.
Yeah, so that's gonna. I was watching this lady earlier. I sent it to you, and you commented on it. What do you think about what she had to say? Basically, these moves were to impoverish people to the point of desperation, so that they do become violent, and then they can institute martial law.
Okay, so I watched it, and I think that I don't think that she's totally out of her mind on how she got there. I do think that this shit, I mean, I'm already seeing it on Facebook within, people in the community who are flipping the fuck out over the funding being cut, and, like, it's already turning into hysteria. And again, I'm not sure that it's not warranted to freak out. All I know is that right now, I don't think we know enough, and we need to keep our heads about ourselves to, really suss through what's really going on. Now, that woman, I believe, I think that she sincerely believes what she said. I do. Yeah. I can see how she got there, but I also think that we need to, as the 99%, the working class, the poor, I think that what we need to do is to, if we're going to get angry and if we're going to get violent, I think that all of that sort of feeling needs to be directed not at each other, and we need to consciously acknowledge that, and we all need to stick together.
Yeah, that's always a good call. Fear never solves any problems.
Nope.
It just it's actually another control method.
And that's where I could see how she got there.
Putting you off kilter.
Yep.
Fear is the mind killer.
Always.
Yeah.
Groupthink, reactionary, being reactionary.
It's funny. I'm on Facebook. I think all of you get off Facebook and take a breath, please. I have a very good friend going on like paragraphs about this.
Yeah.
He lives in Canada.
Yeah,
I've seen friends
some Canadians doing this,
going off on this.
Yeah.
I think they seem to forget that they live in Canada.
About the funding being cut?
All of it.
Well, see, I can understand a Canadian freaking out over potential tariffs.
Yeah.
I could see that. Totally could see that.
But there was a funding cut, and then Quebec cut a bunch of funding for First Nation stuff.
Oh, no shit. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think people are worried. People are scared. I get it. But everybody needs to just calm down a little bit. And I don't want to be that patronizing motherfucker who's saying this, but it's like, it's true. When you let the fear take over you, it's never a good thing. That's never going to be a good thing. And the anger that builds up in you, I personally am a person. Wow, I can't believe I just fucking said I'm a person who's a person. But holy shit, fucking.
You're a professional.
I got water on my brain or something?
Professional writer.
Yeah, holy fuck. Well, that's why I write. I would correct that eventually. But yeah, I mean, I just, to me, it's like, take all those feelings, pull back a bit, really try to find the facts before you just totally lose your shit. I just don't see right yet how much has actually happened. I mean, that's all I'm saying is, do I think Trump would do this shit? Yeah, I do. I really do. I just don't know what the scope is, the scope and scale. I don't know what it is yet, and I don't know who and what has actually been affected by it yet. Because they said it was going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know yet. I mean, we don't know. Sitting here anyway. And I've been reading since about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
All I see is just, I see claims coming out of the Trump administration that it's not, that it's not going to affect individuals who receive funds from these programs. And then I did see somebody on Facebook who said that their program has had their funding froze.
Yeah.
So now I'm not saying that they're not being truthful. All I know is that that's anecdotal, and I haven't seen proof of that yet.
Well, a corporate economist would say, you know, what business people really like is stability.
Yeah,
They'll take stability over almost anything.
that's true.
So they're not going to be cool with all this.
No.
And that was the gist of like Plattsburgh. They were going to open up. They have cross-border businesses that were going to open up 2 facilities within
Oh, yeah.
Plattsburgh. That's on hold now
Yeah.
because they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I can't, this tactic of keeping people off kilter. I don't know how good that is for business.
Well, yeah, I don't know that it's anything good for business, and see, like I said, I do understand how she got there. I think that she maybe overstated it a bit.
Oversimplified, maybe.
Well, even oversimplified, overstated, in the sense that, well, yeah, they probably do want people to freak out, and I think that we can all see that, I'm always advocating for a class war because it's the elite class who get us, to fight with each other. But the thing is that.
But the poor folk are the guys who elected him. It was poor folk. Let's not forget, he was democratically elected.
Yes, and we can't deny that either.
Yeah.
And I'm already seeing this shit. People, thanks a lot for
not voting.
For not voting.
Voting.
How
It's
about
your fault.
How about fucking run a candidate who we all want to
who has
support?
Some balls.
Yeah. You could have ran Bernie out there. You got a fucking 80-year-old dude already running anyway.
Could have ran Ron Paul.
Yeah. Well, you know what? To be honest with you, I actually could vote for Rand Paul over, you know what I mean? Like, well, I don't know. Maybe not Rand Paul. But all I'm saying is that this shit already is happening. Like, oh, thanks a lot for not voting. It's like, if that's the way you feel, then you should have had a primary. A real primary. You should have put someone out there who people actually wanted to vote for, and you should have the DNC stop putting the fucking thumb on the scale for whoever Barack Obama and Hillary and Bill Clinton want to be the candidate.
And now is the time to start organizing.
Exactly.
Instead of being like, ugh. Okay, well, mobilize people then.
Yep.
Like you do it.
And actually, this would be a time for our community to start organizing. And say, okay, well, if the funding is going to be frozen for the tribe, why don't we all get together and start brainstorming things that we can do to potentially fill that shortfall?
Yeah.
Because if they, as you had said before, if they want to say that we're not citizens, and that we have to just make do here on the res, okay, then why don't we act?
Canada, here we come.
Well, but I'm saying we can start to take actions to really be assertively sovereign, right?
We cannot cooperate with their border.
Yeah.
The police who carry our name cannot cooperate with the...
We could also maybe reach out to the various embassies in Ottawa and talk about opening free trade with China, Venezuela. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that that's feasible, but what if we look at it?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? We got to figure something out here. Because, I don't think they'll cut funding to the clinic. And higher ed, I'm not even sure about that. They said for individuals they won't. But if this becomes a reality, something that really is going to happen, then we need to start thinking about this shit now. How do we become self-sustaining?
All right. Think about it. Reach out.
Yep.
We have emails.
Yep, we do.
Isaac at sageagainstpod.com.
And contact at sageagainstpod.com.
Yeah. I know it's a little cumbersome. All the other options were taken.
Yeah, we're going to...
It was dashes or an abbreviation. Pick one. Which one's... I think saying dash sucks.
Hey, if you want to send us an email anyway, then that means you're gonna want to talk to us no matter what.
Or just comment it right in the YouTube.
Yeah, whoever the fuck that one person is puts those comments up about me being fuck, what was it? There's that one person on there.
I haven't even looked.
Oh man, it's funny. I don't really look at him. I only once, well not once, but I looked because Loons pointed it out.
Yeah,
and. So I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, that's pretty funny. They're kind of talking shit about me.
So we're going to go on a little adventure with social media networks. I invite everybody else to try that too. That's one thing you could do to tech oligarchs. Stop using their products.
Yep.
I'm not going to buy a Tesla anyway.
Yep.
Now I'm really never going to buy a Tesla.
Fuck that.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to try to break away from Meta products.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bezos still has me. I haven't found a viable replacement to Amazon. It just makes life easier.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even if you got, like, say you don't use Chrome, but the physical infrastructure for the internet and stuff is owned by almost all by Amazon, Google.
I know. There's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
I use a VPN.
Yep. Use a VPN, everybody. Clean up your traffic.
Maybe they'll sponsor this. NordVPN is what I've been using.
I use IPVanish.
He likes IPVanish. I like NordVPN. NordVPN's based in a different country.
Well, actually, you know what? Who would win? Vikings or IPVanish?
I don't know. Who owns IPVanish? Where's
I have no fucking idea.
So
all I know is that they gave me a good deal for 3 years.
Yeah, NordVPN's out of Norway.
Yeah. Or Vikings.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass, actually.
Pretty good. Yeah,
There's
a reason the Irish got red hair.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
That's why I found that out. I didn't see. You're the only other person I know who like knew that without me telling them.
Yeah.
And that's why some Irish are short and have like dark hair, and other Irish are real giant goons with red hair.
Yeah.
It's because of the Vikings.
Yeah, it probably wasn't pleasant for those poor ladies.
Probably not. Giving birth to people with a head like me.
History is bad. It's mostly bad.
Hardcore history.
All right, I'll give you bye.